Welcome back. Today we are modeling with arithmetic sequences. We have learned how to identify recursive and explicit rules. We've learned how to create explicit rule and recursive rules. And now we're going to interpret and use those rules to help us find solutions. Okay? So interpreting models of arithmetic sequencing says you can model real-world situations and solve problems using models of arithmetic sequences. For example, suppose watermelons cost $6.50 each at a local market. The total cost in dollars of n numbers of watermelons can be found using the function of n equals 6.5n. Complete the following values for 1, 2, 3, and 4 watermelons. And so here they already have the table filled out for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one watermelon is going to cost $6.50. 2 watermelons is going to cost you $13. 3 watermelons is going to cost you $19.50. And 4 are going to cost you $26. So when we're taking a look at this and we want to know what the common difference is, if we take $13 and subtract $6.50 from it, we are going to get $6.50. If I take $19.50 and subtract $13 from it, we're going to get $6.50. So my common difference is $6.50. That's my common difference. What does n represent in this context? So in this equation, when they were wanting to find the cost of n equals 6.5n, what is n? It's the number of watermelons. Okay. What are the dependent and independent variables in this context? Well, the independent is the number of watermelons. So the independent variable is number of watermelons. What is the dependent variable? That is the cost in dollars for the watermelons. Okay, so total cost. If I were to find out how many 7 watermelons would cost, what would you do? Well, I know that it's the cost of n equals 6.5n. And if there are 7, so the cost of 7 is 6.5 times 7. And 6.5 times 7 is $45.50. So the cost of 7 watermelons is $45.50. Okay. Explain 1 is modeling arithmetic sequences from a table. Given the table of data values from a real-world situation involving an arithmetic sequence, you can construct a function model and use it to solve problems. So they want us to construct an explicit rule and function notation for the arithmetic sequence represented in this table, and then interpret the meaning of the specific term of the sequence in the given context. So they want, it says, suppose the table shows the cost in dollars of postage per ounce of a letter. The ounce, each ounce in the letter, that is your independent variable. Your dependent variable is going to be your cost in dollars. Okay. So they want us to determine the value of the function of 9 ounces and tell what it represents in this situation. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find our first term. Our first term is 35 cents. And then they want us to find the common difference. Well, if I take each of these and subtract. So 55 cents minus 35 cents, I get 20 cents. 75 cents minus 55 cents is 20 cents. And 95 cents minus 75 cents is 20 cents. So my common difference is 20 cents. Now we're going to substitute in our equation. So we know that anytime I'm looking for the function of n, it's going to be the function of the first term plus the common difference times the previous term. Okay? Alright, so if I know my first term, which we do, and we replace it, we know our common difference. There is our explicit rule. And they want us to find for the 9th term. So if my function of the 9th term, that means I'm going to replace n with 9. So I'm going to have 0.35. So 35 cents plus the 20 cents and 9 minus 1, which we know is 8. Bring everything else down. We have 35 cents plus 20 cents times 8 is $1.60. And if we add our 35 cents to that, then we get $1.95. So for 9 ounces, it's going to cost us $1.95. Example B says the table shows a cumulative total interest paid in dollars on a loan after each month. The number of months is our top. Our cost, the cumulative total is the bottom. This is my independent, this is my dependent. Determine the value of the function of the 20th term and tell what it represents in this situation. So we have to find our first term, and we know that it is 160. And then I have to find my common difference. And if I take 230 minus my 160, I get 70. 300 minus 230 is 70. And 370 minus 300 is 70. So my common difference is 70. Then we're going to substitute 20 for, or no, the 160 for our first term, and we're going to substitute 70 for D. So then I get the function of n equals 160, that's my first term, plus my common difference times my previous term. There's our rule. They want us to find for the 20th term. So we're going to replace n with 20. Okay, so 20 minus 10 is, or sorry, 20 minus 1 is 19. So I have my 160 plus 70 times 19. And that tells me that if I multiply 70 times 19, I get 1,330 plus 160. And so my 20th term is going to equal 1,490. So, and that's going to be in dollars. So the cumulative total is 1,440 paid after 20 months. I think what they want me to write in here. So my cumulative total paid is 160 each month. After 20 months is $1,490. Okay. Construct an explicit rule and function notation for the arithmetic sequence represented in the table. Then interpret the meaning of the specific term of the sequence in a given context. The table shows the function of n in distance in miles from the store after Mila has traveled for n number of hours. So my input value, or my independent variable, is my time in hours, and my dependent variable is distance in miles. We need to determine what our first term is, and then we need to find our distance. Our first term is 20. 32 minus 20 is 12. 44 minus 32 is 12. 56 minus 44 is 12. So my common difference is 12. So I know that my general rule is the function of n equals my first term, which is 20, plus my common difference times my previous term. They want to know what the value of 10 hours is going to be. So in 10 hours, replace n with 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. And that's 20. 12 times 9 is 108. Plus 20 is 128. So in 10 hours, they will have been able to travel 128 miles. Let's do the your turn number 3. The table below shows the total cost in dollars of purchasing n number of battery packs. Find the first term. Find the difference. Okay, so I found my first term was 4.90. My common difference is 4. And now I need to write it in my explicit rule. So the function of n equals my first term plus my common difference times my previous term. They want you to determine the value of the function of 18. So at 18 battery packs, how much is it going to cost them? After working through 18 in place of n, you should have gotten the function of 18 is $72.90. If you have any questions, please make sure you speak with your teacher. Thank you. This concludes part 1. Please look for the second video for part 2.